Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you? This is Freddy Ewan, two-time GM of the Year, 2023 Pantheon Cup champion, 2024 regular season champion, host of the TPFFKAL'S show. This is our second episode of the second season, and we got a fantastic show. TREY WINGO is in the house. We got the only other GM of the year in the house, and of course, we have the commissioner. It's going to be a fabulous night. I'm here with the commish, Mr. Rich Michelli, and the reigning GM of the year, who is no longer in the league, which makes me still the king. So welcome to the show, guys. Good to have you here.
Yeah, Freddie, nice to have you. Have us back. And Brian, great to see your face on screen. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be back on the show, and looking forward to being a part of the schedule release show.
So as I have it, Brian did not want to be, retired on almost top, didn't win the Pantheon Cup, got GM of the year and pretty much every other award, didn't want to make a second run at it, but now he's the special assistant to the commissioner, kind of like how Robin is the special assistant to the TPFFKAL'S show. So
yes, he has the same function as Robin. Yes.
So I'm going to let you guys go to it. We're going to figure out the entire TPFFK schedule tonight. I don't know a thing what you guys are doing, but I just saw I just saw how it worked, and it was pretty freaking awesome. So you guys want to just go ahead and take it away? Take it away.
Yeah, Brian, go ahead and pull that screen up. And, some of you may know, some may not, but Brian has been behind the scenes putting this schedulizer together, randomized schedule together, and he's a freaking whiz kid on this XL thing. I've already nominated for the XL World Championships, and he will be participating in that. And Brian has put in a couple of features that were voted on by the board this year. One was brought up by Jimmy to play all the teams once before you play a team twice. And then another was voted on was that we will have the standings group based, your second game will be based on your standings from the previous year. And we still have the rivalry week involved. Brian, take it away.
Great. Thanks a lot, Commish. Is my screen up and
Yes,
can be seen? Yes?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you for allowing me to participate in doing this. For a lot of years, I've kind of done some Excel spreadsheets on trying to randomize schedules, but I think we came up with something that's really nice that's going to work out for the league. So I just want to kind of go over the overall layout before we get to dropping the information in and then randomizing it. You'll see here at the top, just like Rich was talking about, we've got a couple of different tables here that will have all the team names that are going to be alphabetically listed over on the left, the rivalry week matchups that are just basically going to be randomly selected, and then of course the previous season standing groupings that are going to be from the top seed down to the bottom seed. And what you'll see is you've got these color coordinated labels that kind of go with where it is on the schedule, just as a reminder. But you'll see that view. And as we scroll down, and this is going to make a little bit more sense once I drop the information in, it'll give you a couple of different other alternate views of being able to see the schedule. And this will be the area that you'll really see the randomized magic happen. And then thought it would be a great idea, since we're always talking about statistics and analytics and who's leading what categories. We kind of added a little bonus feature down to the bottom, kind of showing the lifetime win-loss record with all the different owners, past and present, some postseason accomplishments, and some league awards. So something nice just to have there to have a little bit of fun. Right. But with that being said,
can you just go back down to that awards thing really quickly? I just had a
sure.
That's champ at 13 and 29, right?
That is correct.
Okay, 13 and 29, and then that guy up there, that's me at 33 and 16.
That would be correct. Yes, gotcha. Sir.
Okay, just want to make sure that was correct.
Okay.
You're reading that right.
So as we go back up to the top, I'm just going to drop the names in as we discussed. And what you see here is, everybody listed, which is going to be the random 11 weeks. Obviously, week 10 reserved for the matchups, and the previous season for weeks 12 through 14, again, with the color at the top of those columns. But now for the fun part for the actual randomizing of the schedule. And I believe, Rich, you've decided that we're going to shuffle this 5 times. And if we come to a situation where teams are going to be back to back, we will shuffle it until we break that. And just to kind of give everybody a little bit more information, you'll see the red font down here. You will see that this is basically showing if you're playing which GM a second time during the season. And you'll also see it over on this view, which is just a pretty general view of who you're playing once, who you're playing twice. But over here is where you'll see the magic once we start randomizing. And if we do come up with a back-to-back scenario, you'll see that highlighted in like a pinkish red color. And we will reshuffle as needed. So if we're good to go, we can go ahead and shuffle 5 times.
Just one more quick question on the last 3 weeks. Those where you're playing, those are based on last year's standings, basically.
Yes,
that is correct.
So we discussed basing it on salary cap, but we had settled on standings.
So the guys at the top are going to have a little bit of a harder schedule too, basically, or not really, I guess, because everyone's got different cap room now and it's a new team and everything. But
exactly,
the cream of the crop from last year is going to play each other more often than not, and the bottom barrel pushers are going to play each other more than not too. That makes sense.
But those teams at the bottom, at least 3 of the 4. Had the highest cap, so you would expect them to be the harder teams this season.
Yeah. So it could go both ways, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Great. Okay. Well, let's start the randomizer and see what we get. So on the first one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, as you see, we ended up getting some back-to-backs on that 5th one. So with the commission's permission, I'm going to go one more.
Yep.
And there we go. There's the schedule.
That's the schedule.
So screenshot that and then save it.
Exactly. I'm gonna, because got to be careful, because if not, we could be shuffling again. So that is going to be the schedule. You've got that view. And of course, if you want a little bit more of the traditional look, you can see those if you want to start talking through some games, if you can see that. Okay.
I mean, I think the first thing is it's probably not a good idea to put me up against a newcomer rookie in the first week. You might get someone to resign immediately after the first game. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is fantastic. I think it comes down, I guess James is my new rival now that you're gone, JDOT, and bringing us down. It looks like, can you just bring it down a little bit for the guys who play twice too? So we got James playing Jimmy, TG, and myself twice. We got Rich playing Champ, Bowser, and Devinder twice. We got Sean playing Pat, Joe, and Neil twice. We got Joe playing Neil, Pat, and Sean twice. Champ is playing Devinder, Rich, and Bowser twice. TG is playing myself, Jimmy, and James twice. Pat is playing Sean, Joe, and Neil twice. Neil is playing Joe, Pat, and Sean twice. Jimmy's playing TG, James, and Freddy twice. Bowser is playing Rich, Champ, and Devinder twice, and Devinder's playing Champ, Rich, and Bowser twice. If everyone got all that. I mean, what do you think? I think this is, I think we should probably have another show once we have the, the full draft and know everyone is, and then we can start making predictions on who our winner is going to be. But I think this is, I think this, the season schedule obviously has a big effect on, the great thing about fantasy football is it's just like any football game. You just have to win that Sunday, pretty much. And all that matters at the end of the year is not really how many points you have or how many points. It matters if you win the game each week. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into that. This and that and this and that. I think I think this is going to make for an exciting schedule. I really like how you guys really kind of like took the previous season groupings and made that kind of the final 3 weeks is kind of like a tune-up, pretty much a tune-up for the playoffs. I mean, we'll see what happens at that point, whether there's some teams with great records or bad records or whatnot. But, I think the way you did it with the guys that were at the bottom should do better this year. And the guys at the top, you'll have a few in there left and right that get in there that do better. But, I think we're going to have a lot of like big matchups at the end of the season with playoff implications by doing this.
Yeah, for sure. In any sports, a long season, you can't predict the end of the season. You can predict the first couple weeks to see what shakes out, but by the end, it'll be a totally different standings in the league, and depending on who decides to actually continue going for the playoffs or who decides to not tank but set themselves up for the next season.
Can you guys hear that background?
Will change results anyways. So if you did want to look just at week one, we got a pretty good sense of at least we have keepers out now. Freddy and Teji, James and Sean, myself and Joe Moo. Then we go Champ and Devinder, Teji, Freddy, Pat and Jimmy. That will be one to be keep an eye on. Neil and Bowser is always a good rivalry, fun week. Yeah. All right, guys. Brian, I mean, a tremendous amount of work that you put into this, and I just want to give you credit where that is due.
I appreciate that, Commish. It was a pleasure. Looking forward to maybe doing some more tweaking and see what else we can do for the 2025 schedule if you're interested.
Yeah, we will look into that. But this program is pretty darn well set up, and you should maybe try to market this because it is pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, guys, I had to unmute me. I have the some reason I'm staying at my elderly parents' house, and they let the fire alarm off for some reason, if you can hear it or not. So it's like here we are in the middle of the show. I told him I went out there and said exactly. I said I'm going to be in a meeting for about the next 20 minutes, so just don't disturb me or anything. So of course the fire alarm goes off. It's just like it's typical.
We wouldn't expect any different from a Freddy show.
So that was exciting. So you guys know a little bit why I'm a little nuts is my parents aren't really all there either. So,
right,
so I'm not going to ask you a whole lot of questions, Brian. I see that James is my new rival. You realize that's like James is one of my best buds. I love him to death, but I also have a business relationship with him too. So it's kind of like, it's like, I can't talk that much smack to him, it's like, you were the great rival. I don't, I'm not even going to ask, I'm going to let you off the hook. I'm going to let you off the hook because I love you to death. Close your screen though. Get rid of that screen because I got something that I gotta.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I can close the screen for you, I think, right? There we go. All right, so I'm not you don't even have your Sea Dogs background or anything. You were all into it last year. You made me this great background, blah, 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 blah. This is, I don't know if the commish will let you come in as a co-GM, but I know if that's ever an opportunity, the only GMs of the year, the door is certainly open. I got a message for you though. I promised you I got a message for you. I just got to figure out how to share my screen now. But I got a special message from you. Can you guys see this?
Not yet.
Let me click on it here. Can you see it now?
Yes, we see it.
That is Mr. Trey Wingo with a special message to the TPFFKAL and you,
Oh,
Brian.
Wow.
Here you go.
Mr. Trey Wingo.
Hey, what's up, Brian? Trey Wingo here. I hear you're the reigning TPFFKAL GM of the year. Now, you guys need a new name. TPFFKAL? Come on, that's just way too long and too many letters. But apparently this isn't your thing anymore because rumor has it you dropped out of fantasy football for good and have other passions. Some of them seem to be somewhat questionable. Brian, this is your chance. These people, including Freddy, are reaching out to you through me. Say they miss you. They miss you. They hope you come to your senses and get back to playing fantasy football and doing the things you're supposed to be doing. One of the things you need to do is rename this league. TPFFKAL. That is just ridiculous. Do it.
That was awesome. Well done.
Mr. Trey
Well
Wingo.
That
I'm
was
at the point of
fantastic.
desperation here to get you back to something, whether it's poker or fantasy football. If I got to buy $57 cameos from Trey Wingo, I'll do it.
Well, I will have to speak to the commish, after this video surfaces and discuss the future. I mean, how can I say no to Trey Wingo, right?
Hey,
Well done, Freddie. You may have got him hook, line, and sinker with that one.
I'm not going to stop, man. They got a lot of good people on Cameo. I want to see if, I think Pete Carroll might be on there nowadays that he's not coaching. So maybe that'll be the next one. Yeah, we'll see.
Or beast
That's
mode.
awesome.
He must be on there.
We'll see. So fire alarm aside, guys, I think it's, we're going to hop back on once we have all the, once we have everything together and, have the teams made. When is the draft, Rich? What is draft day?
Draft is 4 weeks away. Tuesday, September 6th?
So 4 weeks away.
I'm sure
So
I'll let everybody know.
that's 2 days before the start of the season. 2 days before the start of the season, we're going to have our draft. It's going to be interesting. I just found out that I do not have the lowest amount of cap room going into this now. So it's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting draft as it is every year in the TPFFKAL. It should be, but it should be really exciting. And, maybe we can add a 13th team. I don't know, right? For the reigning GM of the year, maybe we can add a 13th team. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. I'm going to get this posted up.
Schedule randomizer. How do you do 13 teams? I don't know.
Have them play me every week.
There we go.
I'll go 13-0.
No, he won't join. That's torturous. So, real quick on the post keeper cap, Freddie. What are you thinking about on the lower end? Teji with 40, Freddie with 79, James dropped down to 85.
I think it's a lot that we talked about. I think that there's a lot of risk there that Teji's taken. He's put a lot of money into two guys. One guy, got Brian. This is Brian's former team. Got Brian.
This is Brian's former team, so it's very personal for him. Brian, he ended up keeping. Let's see. Can you pull it? Do you have it pulled up, Freddie?
I don't think I can pull it up.
If you say he kept CMC, I would have done it too.
You would have done the same.
If I was going to be playing, I already had some things that were going to blow minds that I was going to keep him for. I think it was 69 or 70 or something.
69, yeah.
I was definitely going to do it. Absolutely.
It's a lot to pay for the guy. It's like my only issue with that is like anytime you see a guy that's going to be the #1 consensus overall pick, and CMC was not the consensus #1 pick last year, it was Jefferson, who Jefferson was not the #1 overall player. Just like the year before that, it was Taylor who was not the overall player. So my thing is every time you're the consensus #1 pick, I don't know if it's like the Manning curse or something, but they never finish one. McCaffrey, they have a great football team. They have a great offensive line. He's a year older. He's been injury prone before. I'd still take him with the first pick. Would I spend that much money on that guy? you know, I
would've
think I'd
been
rather
willing to
be
do
more
it.
in James' position, taking like a Brees Hall and a CD Lamb for like half the cost almost. So I think, you know,
So
I
Brian,
gave
you
my
would,
grades out, and I think that you know, Rich, like I said, I think you overpaid a little bit for Mahomes, although I think Mahomes is going to have a great year. I think, you know, I think you still overpaid for him. You know, the only, you know, I wasn't too happy with my keepers. I think maybe I should have kept James Cook, but, you know, now I got a little more room to work with on draft day, you know, and there's some guys, like I said, James doesn't have a lot of cap room, but he's got, you know, 2 out of the top 5 players almost in Brees and Lamb, you know, if they don't hold out.
So,
And,
yeah, you're keeping Jerome Ford was a head scratcher. I thought you'd do James Cook. Brian, you had pried Lamar Jackson away from Champ last year, his prized possession, and well, I guess Dandy's prized possession. And so he kept Lamar Jackson, he kept Puka, obviously, Christian McCaffrey, and Kenneth Walker. So
I was
Lamar
gonna
Jackson
keep-
becomes the highest quarterback in our league.
Yeah,
So-
I was going to keep 3 of those 4 and just try to, you know, use my skills on weekly, you know, free agent ads to try to improve, because I knew I wouldn't be able to do much with the draft.
Yeah, I
that didn't
think-
have a lot of money, but
Yeah.
that would have been fun and exciting.
Yeah, keeping Lamar Jackson, he probably should have thrown him back into the pot and risked trying to get him for less than 41.
Oh, 41. I didn't realize the cost. Yeah,
That's
is
really
right.
steep.
And, you know,
So
I mean,
much.
it's like you can, you know, the other thing is, I mean, you could talk about Brian's team, you know, and Brian had a ton of cap room last year, but, you know, you know, it was really the 2 guys that he got off of waivers that really
Yeah.
put him over the top, and
For sure.
Yeah.
you know, Kyron Williams and Puka. I mean, those 2 guys had to be the number 1 and number 2 guys off waivers last year, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting them was key to, I think anyone who
Yeah.
had those 2 on their team got into the playoffs and
They
went on
always
to
do that
run.
analysis at the end of the year. The players that made most fantasy finals, and I think Williams was the number 1 player last year, Kyron Williams.
Oh, wow.
That's a great point to just show that this league and fantasy football in general, the waiver wire means so much, but this league in particular is a year-round league, and how much fun we all have discussing it amongst each other. It really is a great league, best league in the world.
Absolutely. What do you think about Trey's advice to change the name, though?
That's more the reason it's the best league in the world.
I don't even know what it stands
it's
for.
perfect.
So it's just, yeah, it takes me a while to, you know, I still the TPFFKAL, you know, so
It's a tongue twister.
yeah.
It is a
I
tongue
know it has
twister.
something to do with that great restaurant, the Portofino in, you know,
long as that-
Arlington, Virginia. It has something to
As
do
long as
with
the
that.
Portofino's in the back of your mind when you say it, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
guys. Excellent
Excellent,
show.
guys. Thanks so much. And you guys have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you all so much. I appreciate it.